Hello, beautiful people. It's been a while, so I saw a YouTube short, and I wanted to talk about it today. That's content, right? This short comes from a channel called American High, and I'm just gonna quote from their channel bio so we can see what their vision for their content is. American High. We bought a high school, and now we film in it. Founded in 2017 by Jeremy Garlick, The Wedding Ringer, The Hangover, The Breakup, The Binge, American High is a full-service production company specializing in heartfelt teen comedies. You might have seen us at Sundance with Pete Davidson for Big Time Adolescence, or on Hulu, where most of our films have found their homes. Either way, please stop emailing us to try and get Pete's number. Nobody's doing that. That's just not a thing. American High Shorts. All things high school in 90 seconds or less. At American High Shorts. Oh my god, it's a different company. Okay, anyway, at AHS, we aim to make comedic high school content that's as weird as it is relatable. Think shorts you'd share with your friends, but maybe with 4 E's, not your mom. What is this? What did I just read? What exactly is a heartfelt teen comedy? Let's find out. This is the first short that I saw.
Oh my god, I hate my mom. Mom! Why are you not texting me back? You are not my mom. You're my best friend. And when you don't text me back, I feel unloved.
I just feel like we should break up so we can enjoy college.
Being with you makes me unhappy. And I think it would be best if we split up because you're so flawed. Oh, 3.8 GPA. That's not bad, but that's okay. Oh my god, they're letting me graduate? Oh, that is insane. Wow. Okay.
So the first thing to note about this short is, it's not funny. Like, it's relatable, sure, but it doesn't seem particularly comedic. It actually seems like there are some real emotions here, like the actress and maybe whoever wrote the script are trying to irony poison it, like almost at the last minute. This short has 6.3 million views at the time of recording this, so whatever the message is, it's resonating with people. So what is the message? That last one hurt. I went from top of the class to literally barely passing in college and being 3 years behind. Same. High school does not prepare you for university at all. Wasn't this short supposed to be funny? Wasn't this short supposed to be like this lighthearted, relatable mirror that young people could hold up to their own lives? This is easily the most accurate thing you've ever made. A child's relationship with their parents often changes as they leave high school. There are a lot of reasons for this. One of the most common, or at least one of the most commonly cited reasons, is a neurodevelopmental change in the types of adults that children and young adults look to for guidance. As children age up from elementary school to middle school and then on to high school, the types of adults that they look to for guidance tends to shift. Whereas previously, the most important adult in a child's life is typically their parents, what we refer to in early childhood development as the primary adult of attachment. As the child reaches 13 years of age, this adult usually changes to a trusted community member outside of the family. This change can be seen in a number of other videos on the American High YouTube channel.
Hey Lydia, would you maybe want to go out sometime with me?
Hey Lydia, can I see you in here for a sec?
Yeah.
1 second. Girl, congratulations. Countless hours of flirting with friends of friends, hoping it would get back to him. Putting your hair in a ponytail. Taking it out of the ponytail. That horrible week where he got strep throat and the entire timing of Operation Long Game was at risk of insurmountable setback. All leading to this fateful moment.
Ladies and girls, we got him.
Go do what you have to do.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll go out with you.
Cool, okay, I'll pick you up after school.
Yeah, I know you will.
Who is this adult supposed to be in the life of this child? This is another type of adult from outside the family who this child has entrusted with vulnerable secrets about her life. This is a normal developmental process. That's why this short is so popular. That's why it has 7 million views. But something changes when the student moves out of the house. Away from the safety net of always having that primary attachment adult around, children and young adults can lack the security needed to reach outside of their safety net to get support from someone else. Think about the often tenuous relationship college students can have with their advisors.
Last semester, senior year, exciting stuff.
You got that right.
What are you thinking career-wise?
I would like to change my major.
You have 1 semester left. You'd have to be enrolled in 33 classes this semester.
Is it like a scheduling issue? I'd like to keep Fridays open if that's possible.
You don't want a career in sociology?
Honestly, I could not tell you a subject I'm less interested in.
You had 4 years of this. Why didn't you address this sooner?
They don't tell you that you're gonna need a job after this, and frankly, it's very misleading.
Yes, they do.
So this lighthearted short about the difference between high school and college is pointing out this very real neurological and social change that happens to anyone who leaves home for school. Almost everyone getting a highly liked comment is a student that's currently enrolled in college. This makes the purpose of this short not so much funny, but almost an opportunity for growth. I really don't think all the people commenting LMAO were actually on their phones laughing the whole time this short was playing. Sometimes when people comment LMAO, the emotional affect elicited by the piece of media is a little more complicated than that. There's a pretty palpable undercurrent of grief running through the comments, like the person who commented lamenting the death of her mom, but there's more than that. My mom passed away my junior year of college, but I still feel this. It makes it harder somehow. I felt that mom in my soul because I definitely may or may not have said it to my mom when I was in college a few times. I got so addicted to my mother in college, then when I moved to DC from Pennsylvania to work, I called her every dang day. By the time I was 26, I called her once a day. And when she answered, I said, "Mom." She asked, real mad, "Kelly, did anything in your life change in the last 24 hours? I said no, and she said, "Then call me when it does," and hung up on me. I was so hurt, I didn't call her for 2 weeks. She totally forgot that even happened. It's 34 years later, and I can't forget. She's been dead almost 19 years, and I still miss her so much. These young people are speaking a deeply personal truth. They're reflecting on things in life that they either didn't enjoy when they had them, or didn't realize how much they were gonna miss when they were gone. Grief is a tricky thing. What is the process of grieving? Can you grieve on purpose, and how much? What is the right amount to grieve? Is grieving something that happens inside or out loud? I think that it's just about possible that there are people who had not started to grieve things in their life that they had lost until they saw this short. And that is a lot of responsibility to put on the creators of a short that is supposed to be funny. There's a theory in teaching called the gradual release of responsibility model, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Here's how it's supposed to work. If someone can't do something, you show them how. You basically do it for them, guiding their hands literally or metaphorically and creating a situation where they reasonably can't fail. The next step gives them a bit of that chance. When they take more of the task into their own hands, they slowly build the skills that they need. It's pretty easy to see that structure in a lot of public schooling, but there's something off about it. Think about the difference between elementary school and middle school. In elementary school, you spend most of the day with one teacher in one place. When you leave the classroom, it is with the understanding that this is your home base and you will be back soon. Lots of schools try to slow the harsh transition between this setup and the middle school environment. All the schools I've ever worked at, for example, have some kind of step-up day, where the exiting 5th graders have a chance to visit the middle school, meet some of their new teachers, and maybe have a chance to try to open their lockers. Is this gradual enough? Well, how is the model supposed to feel to the students? Gradual release of responsibility is really the gradual increase in the consequences for student failure. Think about a child learning to ride a bike. They begin with training wheels on and the adult right next to them. Then they progress to using training wheels alone. It's hard to fall off a bike with training wheels on it, but it's easier when there's no one there to catch you. The release has begun, and the cost of failure has risen. Then, the loss of the training wheels suddenly means that that pavement is coming right up to meet them. The cost of failure has gone way up, and the release of responsibility is complete. If we zoom in to what is happening in the mind of the child at this time, what we see is someone having to accept a rapidly escalating level of fear. The only chance that this child is going to come away from this lesson with some level of confidence is if they end up feeling themselves equal to that fear. And what do we call it when fear is too much? We call it trauma. Now, obviously, not everyone who has ever learned to ride a bike has come away traumatized. So what is the difference between a gradual release of responsibility that ends with trauma and one that ends with confidence and someone who feels themselves equal to that fear? Practically speaking, it's got to be the amount of support that someone's given as they make their way through the learning process. But we just decided that support has to stop for this model to work. We can't hold people's hands the whole way. Can we? I mean, what kind of a liberal state would this be? Well, I don't know if we can hold people's hands the whole way, but I think from a pedagogical standpoint, it wouldn't be the right thing to do. You know, arguably it's actually pretty hard to ride a bike with training wheels. And at some point, you really want to try to go it alone. So what do I mean by support? What are we allowed to do? What type of support could we provide that won't get in the way of this learning process? How do we release responsibility without causing harm? First, there is a kind of support that would work. We can't make this process easier. We can't offer help because that would ruin our learning model. In fact, at the moment of release of responsibility, we can't say anything about the learning task itself. But there are actually two things we can do. First, we can talk about the student's experience of the problem without talking about the problem itself. We can set expectations, we can contextualize, and we can talk about the amount of struggle that the student is experiencing as being okay. We can tell the student that they're not stupid, they're not incapable, they're learning. The second is we can listen. If we're not saying anything, we can't be making the task easier by helping. I think that listening is one of the two most important parts of teaching, and the other one is faith. How do you know that you aren't taking the training wheels off too early?
Correct. You do not. And therein lies the extremely danger.
At some point in the teaching process, you have to take a chance. Your student will never learn anything, will never be able to interact with and influence the world, and will never find themselves equal to the tasks that face them on this big, scary planet until you give them a chance to fail, and they don't. This has deep implications for classroom management, by the way, but that might be beyond the scope of this video. What was I talking about? What are the problems in this video? Are there any? Is this a demonstration of healthy behavior? Actually, I'm not sure. In a lot of ways, I think it is healthy. What is the person doing in this video? She's having a little define the relationship moment with her mom. She's balancing the responsibilities of life to successfully graduate from college. And she's exiting a relationship that no longer makes her happy. This is resonating with people because it represents agency and responsibility that people have accepted over the course of living their lives. But it's bittersweet for the commenters. It's sweet for the same reason that it's humorous. It's defining something that is over and done, a developmental milestone that commenters correctly recognize as an important one for their development. And it's bitter because, like we've discussed, each one of those moments, each one of those lessons represents a time when they could have failed, a time when they were unsure about their own success, whether they would have the relief of completing a task or the pain of failure. And it's that bittersweet feeling, a direct result of the learning process that this short has been able to capture. So what can we do? What can teachers do? What can educators do? The first thing we need to understand is that we cannot remove fear from the healthy process of learning. We can't remove it, and we shouldn't try. We need to have faith, and absent faith in the students, we need to have faith that we ourselves can handle the strain of potentially allowing students to fail. And fundamentally, we need to give our students tasks that they can't yet complete. If we focus our time on things like leveled readers, automatically adjusting mathematics curricula, and other things that are designed to give just the right amount of challenge, we ensure that students will never develop the self-assuredness that comes from confidently walking into failure and finding that they can survive it. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, can you give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, leave a comment on what I should discuss in the next video, and I hope to see you then. Bye guys.